What's going on, everyone? What's going on? And if you happen to see my eyes shifting in different directions, I have a few platforms up, a few different sites. I'm on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And I'm sharing my screen. I'm sharing my screen in a few different ways. So this is what I mean by that is there's some platforms that I'm on that I'm sharing my screen, which I usually don't. So I pray everything goes smooth, and we're going to see what that looks like as far as sharing the screens. So, for example, if I can be transparent, I'm on one platform. If y'all can see it like that. So this is one, and then we're going to another one on live. But for those that are on Instagram Live, you're not able to see this because I didn't share my screen. But we're going to jump right into it. My name is Donovan Hilton. You're a senior advisor when it comes to civic engagement, especially in urban areas of the United States, urban areas of the United Kingdom, and through and with and around African diaspora countries. And so on this particular channel, I'm jumping on a lot of different topics that are respectfully urban based. And again, it could be an international conversation in a different country, or it could be, or in a country, in the African diaspora country, it could be within the US and in a particular urban area. And when I say urban area, that's a broad word, usually dealing with density, mostly. But when I say urban, it may not necessarily be in a metropolitan area. It could just be ultimately an area or a territory that I do business in and serve. So it could be a state, because the state a state of the United States could be actual state, because that state will ultimately, the ruling and things of that nature will ultimately play a role in what goes on in a particular neighborhood, community, or city or county that I serve when it comes to real estate, community engagement, employment recruitment, as well as recruitment for career training opportunities, and for small to enterprise-sized businesses that want to do a better job of reaching possibly a new customer base. And in that, I'm able to, in working with these brands and people and decision makers, I'm able to also make connections in the areas that I serve in the community, back into the corporate side, so that there can be a true working relationship between both sides. So, and I love to do that from the local to international scale. And so that's pretty much where we're going with that. And so today we're going to be jumping into Haiti, the Hades area as well. So just a quick fact, if you haven't had a chance, and those that are on LinkedIn, please know I have a Vote for Donovan Hilton LinkedIn page. I need you, and I thank you in advance for going to Vote for Donovan Hilton, the link number 4, Vote for Donovan Hilton, the LinkedIn page, because I need to get those subscribers up so I can do lives on that LinkedIn page where it's more civic focused. But right now I'm on my personal live. But if you're watching on my personal live, please go to my civics page, Vote for Donovan Hilton. For those on Instagram, you're on the Vote for Donovan Hilton. If you're on Facebook, you're on the Vote for Donovan Hilton as well. But if you're on LinkedIn, I need you to go to the Vote for Donovan Hilton page and start subscribing and following. I'm not running for office. I don't plan on running for office anytime soon, if at all. I did run for city council in the metropolitan area a few years back, and I decided to keep the social media up and the different platforms I was using to continue on in my civics journey. And so I will see if I can leave a link to about a 45-minute webinar explaining my journey in civics, from running for city council to becoming an elected official at the county level, working with a regional vice chair for a political party. After my term was up, deciding to cross the aisle and build working relationships there, going through that experience to where I'm able to be seen and stepping back, and now I'm more of a statesman. And I can genuinely say I have people, especially in corporate world or urban areas, they're like, hey, can you reach to this other side? Because I need to, you know, X, Y, Z. I remember at one point in my life that I was ostracized, scrutinized, insulted for my lack of intelligence, my failure to communicate, all those things. But the point of why I did that was because it's important to have relationships. It's important to have access and to be able to have a conversation to get things done. And the areas that I serve are way more valuable and more essential in my mind than me to get ridiculed, because I'm doing my best to build relationships and to help create transparency, you know, whatever that looks like. So with that being said, check out my YouTube page. If you're not there, vote for Donovan Hilton. Make sure you're following Vote for Donovan Hilton on Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And so before I go into this conversation about, and this is an old article, forgive me, y'all, about 2 months old from the time I'm doing this live, but out of respect, there's a lot of articles that I haven't done yet, and I want to make sure they're getting taken care of and they're getting their respect. If I can be a person to stimulate conversation, to be a you know, growth or awareness for a situation, respectfully, that's what I don't mind doing. And so before we jump into this, especially if you go to my YouTube channel and you go to, I think it's a playlist. If not, if you go to my live and some of my regular videos on YouTube, the Vote for Donovan Hilton YouTube, you'll see I'm doing a lot of conversations on BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And the latest article that hasn't come out due to some technical, or the latest video I've done hasn't come out due to some technical difficulties, is dealing with BRICS expanding with 9 new partner countries. Now it's half of world population, 41% of global economy. And respectfully, I know the new president of the United States is taking is advocating, if you will, choice of words, for the US dollar, United States dollar, to be considered that international reserve. And I believe, respectfully, BRICS is looking to push the narrative in a different direction. So there's been conversations, and we've been trying our best to stay up close so we can just, if not, you know, I want to use the word pray for peace and unity and overstanding and opportunities to find a cohesive working relationship for the sake of people and living quality lives. Easier said than done, respectfully. And so with that being said, that's coming out soon, and we'll be jumping more into BRICS conversation. But right now we're going to discuss Hades. I do a lot of conversations on, this country just left my mind. Anyway, just the countries, that's horrible, just left my mind. I've been doing a lot of articles on an African diaspora, an African country. Forgot the name of it, but anyway, excuse me. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see what that one is. But today we're going to focus on Hades, not but I'm trying to change when I transition from a different sentence, I'm looking to use the word but, but less, you know, use that word. So I'm looking to say, so even though I focus on a different country, a majority of the time, we're focusing on Hades because we want to make sure that every country in the areas that I am interested in, you know, are being made aware. So we're going to focus on Haiti at this moment, and let's jump into it. I want to shout out Jacqueline Charles of the Miami Herald for covering this story. Thank you for your patience on me getting it out. Haiti's Presidential Council fires Prime Minister, names businessman in controversial move. What's going on, right? Let's see. Thank you again, Jacqueline Charles, for this article, taking time out to write the article. There's an 8 minutes audio. Let's see, you know, it shouldn't be a long video. It shouldn't be a long article. I hadn't really jumped into it. I wanted to wait to connect with you all. Haiti's ruling Presidential Council has fired the country's Prime Minister, Gary Conal, after barely 6 months, and names businessman Alex Dieter Fils Ami to replace him in an act that some political leaders say is illegal. That's what caught my attention. You know, the legal part. Let's see what this is talking about. This marks the second time in a dozen years that Conal, 58, a career civil servant and development expert with the United Nations, has been forced from the top government job in Haiti. In 2012, he was forced to step down by then President Michael Martley. Forgive me if I mispronounced any of your names, first of all, forgive me. Michael or Michel Martelly, after only 4 months in office. So again, the country's prime minister, Gary Conall, had to step down, and this is the second time that this happened, has been forced from the top government job. Okay, so second time, let's continue to see. This time, the pressure is coming from the 9-member Transitional Presidential Council, currently being led by Leslie Voltaire, an urban planner, and the representative of the party, Fanmi Lavalas. I want to leave my personal thoughts to myself, especially when I think of civics and urban development or development, real estate. An executive order by the council was to be published in the country's official gazette, Le Monteur, on Monday, but leaked Sunday afternoon. It names Fils Ami, a Port-au-Prince entrepreneur, as his replacement. 8 out of 9 council members signed the order. Former Senator Edgar LeBlanc Fils, who recently headed the council, did not sign. Interesting twist. Fils Amin, 52, who ran an unsuccessful 2015 campaign to join the Senate and is a former president of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Haiti, was abroad when his name was being considered on Friday and Saturday. He quickly returned to Haiti on Sunday morning from an overseas trip, and after landing in Port-au-Prince, he was picked up at the airport by a police and diplomatic service escort. His swearing in could come as early as Monday morning, prompting a situation where an already politically unstable Haiti could find itself with not just 9 presidents, but 2 prime ministers if Conall opts not to relinquish power. So the prime minister and you have the president. I think that's usually a UK, United Kingdom culture, which is like parliament. This is why I want to jump into these things. And it looks like there's kind of a parliament, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, forgive me if I am, in Hades. And so when I think of president, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, wow, the president, so like, for example, when I thought of Queen Elizabeth, you know, or someone of that nature, and she's not a president, I know that she was like the monarch, but you have someone of that nature, and then you have the prime minister, and I'm thinking of someone like Winston Churchill. And then it sounds like, if I'm not speaking out of ignorance, the president. So let me know, break that down for me. If not, we'll do another conversation about parliament. That's why it's so important. And at the time, forgive me, commercial break me, y'all. Commercial break me, please. I should have been sticking to the article, and if I want to leave my thoughts, I should say commercial break. And I was inspired to say that and do that through my friend Joe T. Baker III. I want to shout out his website, jtb3.org. That's J as in Joe, T as in Tom, B as in Baker, the numerical number 3.org. Has a great story when it comes to perseverance and going in a different direction in life. Please check them out. And so at the time, commercial break me, please. But now we're back into the article. Here we go. In a letter dated Sunday to Ronald St. John, the director of National Press, Conall warned that only the government has the right to order the publication of any official acts and the publication of a resolution putting the end to the prime minister's function in the government's official journal is illegal. This is what it says in the article, quotations, is illegal. Considering the publication of official acts in the official journal, Le Monteur, is the responsibility of the government, I, Gary Conall, Prime Minister, enjoin you not to publish the resolution taken by the Presidential Transition Council to terminate the functions of the Prime Minister, Conall said in this signed letter. And I was going to say something about that. Okay. On Sunday, several sectors that had named people to the Presidential Council as part of a political accord worked out with the U.S. and the Caribbean community were working on issuing a statement criticizing the move, while also showing support for Carnile and his government. Two people involved in the process told the Miami Herald. Let me read this one more time. A quick section. On Sunday, several sectors that had named people to the Presidential Council as part of a political accord worked out with the U.S. and the Caribbean community were working on issuing a statement criticizing the move. So it looks like the U.S. and the community of the Caribbean are not really, receptive to this move. So that's good to know. And we have to, we'll leave it there. Constitutionally, only the Haitian parliament can fire a prime minister, and presidents in the past have done so through political maneuvering by getting supporters in one of the two chambers of government. Haiti, however, is in the throes of constitutional crisis where there is no parliament and no democratically elected leader in the entire country. So it makes sense what's going on. It makes sense what's going on. So I just want to point out, Hades is in the throes. Let's look up what the word throes means. Throes. Intense or violent pain and struggle, especially accompanying birth, death, or great change. And for that, so it's kind of like throes of childbirth, agony, pain, spasms, torment, suffering, torture. And so with that being said, I just want to stand in agreement respectfully for the well-being of Haiti and the wrinkles being ironed out. I'm gonna leave my thoughts to myself. So just for that, I'm just gonna say I stand in agreement on peace. You're dealing with children, elderly, and everyone in between. And that's why, respectfully, those that are living well off or decently, you definitely want to be grateful. You definitely want to try your best, because there's people in not in the same position. No matter how rough it may look for you, there's people that would love to be in your position. So we always want to be mindful of that. And so I stand in agreement, on Haiti's peace moving forward. So there's constitutional crisis where there is no parliament and no democratically elected leader in the entire country. We're going to continue to look into that to see what that looks like. This is back in November now. This is a few months ago, so it could be changed by now. But respectfully, these urban areas, I feel, need that sustainability. There needs to be sustainability. And I say that because I dabble in the corporate world, and the corporate world is all about sustainability. You know what I mean? So the urban areas, be it business, government, community, and personal, there needs to be focused on sustainability. How do I continue to input, process, and output in a productive way, wash, rinse, and repeat, if that makes sense, generationally? Moving on. That was a commercial break, please forgive me. This has led to divergent views about whether the council, which was put in place to help restore security and oversee the transition back to elections, can fire the prime minister who runs the day-to-day operations of the government and usually answers to a parliament. So that's the whole situation right there, or a good core of it, where all this is kind of, uncertain. This is why it's uncertain, because there's has led to divergent. Let's look at the word divergent. Tending to be different or develop in different directions. So there are different views about whether the council, which was put in place to help restore security and oversee the transition back to elections, can fire the prime minister who runs the day-to-day operations. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, so we're almost done. We're almost done. I'm gonna see if I can pick it up. Okay. Connell was appointed to the council in May after its 7 voting members and 2 observers considered several applicants, which also included Felice Amin, for the job. By June, Connell had put in place a new cabinet, but since then he struggled to get along with much of the council, whose members represent parties preparing to go into the next election. Okay, I can see that. Politics for you. Though each side blames the other for the lack of progress in Haiti, the council and the prime minister have failed to make significant inroads in the country's deepening humanitarian, economic, and security challenges. That's what it boils down to. Great leadership boils down to productive humanitarian efforts, productive economic efforts, and productive security efforts integrally. A wave of gang violence has more Haitians facing famine, thousands forced into displacement camps, an increasing number of neighborhoods falling under gang control despite the presence of an armed international force in the country. Now that I think about it, Haiti's could, because it's been a while since I've done an article for an African country, and I really believe that Haiti's was that country I was thinking about earlier. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. The latest crisis has been brewing for weeks, with members of Transitional Council failing to heed calls by the Biden administration to end the political infighting. The tensions finally hit a peak Thursday and Friday after an attempt by the Organization of American States to broker talks between Carnal and Voltaire went nowhere. The two men have been at odds for weeks now over two central issues, a reshuffling of the cabinet and the removal of 3 members of the Presidential Council named in a bank bribery scandal. The division has led to a stalemate in which some members of the council had refused to meet with Carnal, who have been resisting the reshuffle because it turned over control. Who had been resisting the reshuffle because it turned over control of key government ministries, if not at all, to presidencies and political parties. Carnal had issued his own demands, beginning with the removal of the 3 council members under criminal investigation over the bribery allegations. And I say this respectfully, one of the biggest things I've noticed when it comes to, because I've dabbled in some foreign direct investment work with African diaspora countries or African countries and states within the United States. But the biggest thing that I'm learning as I get deeper into my research and why investments happen is the corruption has to be minimal, because people are putting dollars into a place where they're looking for a return, and corruption and a lack of documentation, if you will. I don't know the details, but there has to be legitimacy and there has to be certainty. That's where people invest, either as human capital working for someone or investing dollars, working capital, legitimacy and certainty. And if that's not there, people they're not as motivated to put their dollars there, respectfully. So when you hear things like, I'm not going to go into it, So commercial break me, please. We're back to the article. Washington lost control. Georges Farrell, a Haiti specialist and senior associate at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C., said the Biden administration lost control of the Haiti issue and transition, in particular, when it allowed the Presidential Council's corruption issue to fester for over 2 months, as it focused its attention on the multinational security mission without building a convincing diplomacy as to why Kenya was the lead. And we're going to look into this, because I think it is Haiti's, because there was a couple things going on, and I believe Kenya had to bring its security down to help with that. So if I'm not speaking, it's been a while since I've covered some stories. So we're wrapping up now, y'all. The Biden administration also arguably and amazingly seems to have lost track of the situation in the streets of Haiti, with the Haiti National Police losing credibility every day despite some heroics, Farrell said. And and I stand in agreement again, because I know there's some law enforcement out there, they're doing integral and looking to do right, but a brand sometimes is bigger than yourself, and you can become a part of that brand based on your association, and it's rough, but thank you for trying your best for those that are doing so. Commercial break me, please, and we're back. So here we are nearly mid-November, and the Kenyans are nowhere near what was promised early in the summer, and the gangs appear to have, in some cases, mutated to cartel-like operational ambitions, with an increasingly worrisome stream of arms and financing, he added. The latest crisis could not have come at a worse time for Haiti, where thousands of people continue to be forced out of the homes by armed gangs, and at least 4,900 have, or 4,900 have already died due to the violence. The Biden administration, which has been a backer of both the transition and the UN-authorized multinational security force led by Kenya, is in itself a transition that after former President Donald Trump won the White House. Commercial break me, please. So we're going to see if the new administration is going to address or be a part of what the former administration of the United States was active in. We'll see. The change in U.S. commercial break me, please. I need to catch up. Saying we'll see. This article is back in November. The new president of the United States has already been sworn in and has been working for several weeks and/or months. And so I need to catch up. There's probably has been an update. So forgive me and thank you all for your patience. Moving back to the article. The change in the U.S. administration has meant that any future support for Haiti's security challenges remains unclear. Key Republican lawmakers in Congress earlier this year opposed State Department funding for the Kenya-led mission, which forced Biden to use executive authority to get the money and equipment needed for the force's deployment. Commercial break me, please. And I know the new presidential administration has been making or advocating for cutbacks in a lot of different areas, and I can see those cutbacks affecting the individuals that we're talking about in these articles. And we're going to follow and see what that looks like. And again, it's a lot going on. So we stand in agreement on peace and solidarity and leadership and communication and patience and emotional intelligence and all those things in between for a peaceful solution. Moving on. In the past, Trump has shown he is not a supporter of the United Nations, and some people expected to have an influential role in his administration share that view. In the meantime, efforts to raise between $400 million and $600 million to fund the security mission, which was recently renewed by the UN Security Council for a year, has fallen short. Martin Kimani, Kenya's former ambassador Martin Kimani, Kenya's former ambassador to the U.S., who led the effort to get his East African nation involved in assisting Haiti following the 2021 assassination of President Jovenel Moise, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your names, told the Herald that he is dismayed by recent political moves that disrupt the essential path. The world needs to see a Haiti that upholds democratic principles, stability, and unity, said Kimani, currently executive director of New York University's Center on International Cooperation. It's essential that Haitian leaders understand how their choices impact the international response, especially as countries weigh their commitment and as funding remains uncertain. And that's the end of the article. Again, thank you, Jacqueline Charles, for this article of the Miami Herald. Jacqueline Charles has reported on Haiti and the English-speaking Caribbean for the Miami Herald for over a decade, a Pulitzer Prize finalist for her coverage of the 2010 Haiti earthquake. She was awarded a 2018 Maria Moore's Cabot Prize, the most prestigious award for coverage of the Americas. Congratulations, Jacqueline. And if you have any questions or comments or thoughts about the article, put them in the comments. Send me a direct message. I've also had folks send me through direct message various links and articles to support the conversation that I have gone back and covered on a live, or pre-recorded video. So please leave your information. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, donating. There should be something, a link somewhere, donating monetarily in the amount you felt this message was worth so I can continue to do this. I'll do it for free if I can, but the reality situation is there's business to take care of, bills you have to pay, and you have to do what you can to take care of that first. And so we're looking to make our earned income be a little more toward this. I serve as a consultant and advisor in the areas of relationship management, business development, and community engagement, helping You make sure that relationships can happen, long-term, sustainable, influential, credible relationships, ensuring certainty and legitimacy. I'm trying to hurry up, y'all, so I'm talking fast. As well as opportunities for you to increase your customer base and your presence and buy-in in urban areas. That's why I cover things like this, because it's macro to the micro and vice versa. And so with that, I'm definitely in agreement on Haiti's upholding democratic principles, stability, and unity. And that's why I cover stories like this, to bring that out and to have more conversations and see what can shake from there. But ultimately, again, thank you for your donation, the amount you felt this message was worth, by clicking the link. And when you have time, feel free to check out my website, ldhadvising.com, L as in Lord, D as in Donovan, H as in Hilton, advising.com. Fun fact, I am a registered Lord of Glencoe in the country of Scotland, courtesy of Highland Titles. And that is because I'm looking to stimulate minds. My research, I could be wrong, but bloodline going back to that area, as well as me owning a small plot of land through a nonprofit, having a virtual office in the London area. That's a lordship title, and I like to stimulate minds. So make sure you go to my website. I do provide free advising assessments of where you are, where you want to be. Fill out the questionnaire. I'll give you a free assessment. For a few dollars, I'll give you with the free assessment, for a few dollars, I'll give you a pre-recorded explainer video breaking down the assessment. You can always connect with me and book a one-on-one virtual advising call for a fee. And I do provide memberships where you can connect with me monthly to make sure that I'm helping you be empowered, making sure that you are that brand. You do have insight, access, and resources, and everything from lead generation, brand awareness, to cross-promotion opportunities. Thank you for following, like, and subscribing. Again, thank you for your donations. And leave your questions and thoughts in the comments or send me a direct message. I'll see y'all next time.